Greetings, Star Trek Fleet Commanders. I am the Angry Rhino. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. So as you can see here, Augment faction on the screen. Yes, finally made it to Superior. Woohoo! Yay, Rhino! Even though I'm probably a little bit behind some people. If I had grinded a little harder, I probably would have made it like a week ago. Maybe even two, but I don't really like doing this. Kind of lazy in my old Star Trek years. But anyway, you can see what is more in the center is con champion things. That's what I'm here to try to give you a little bit of insight on. Now, of course, there's things I don't know. There's things that I knew going into it and things I didn't know going into it. And I'm learning a lot along the way. That's part of this. Now, as you may have already noticed, you see level 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's no 5. Each have a name: Cadet, Ensign, Captain, Warlord. There is a Nightmare. Well, it's not in here because it's already out. Yeah, hit the button yesterday, and yeah, that thing is tough. But the good news is that apparently it's going to stay up. It hasn't gone away yet. Now, I'm not going to show you the location. Why do you think that is? Because that would give away my location. So, yeah, I've moved my base. But I'm going to... I would recommend that some of you start a little lower. Because those Nightmare champions, yeah. I'm not even sure if a G6 Epic can take them out. Maybe it can. You might actually need a Vengeance. So maybe don't start off really high. Look, if you don't want to start at 1, you want to start at 2 and see where you're at, that's fine. But don't just click the Nightmare one and be like, I can't do it. What the hell? You know? So plan a little strategically here. Can do the Warlord ones. You hit that button there. This thing pops up. Just a way to, do it, I guess. And we're going to back out there. And it spawns much like a Q trial hostile, except it's a gold boss. So I'll go over cruise in a minute. One thing I do want to show you over here in the other part of the... Well, let's start up top here. You can see your Joachim Affinity is considered XP, so it's up here with the other only 5 XPs. Not sure why transporter patterns are considered XP, but they are. Joachim Affinity, that's there. It's actually more of a currency. I'll show you that in a bit. But if I come all the way here at the bottom, past all those resources, passing it, just before you get the refits, at least for me. I don't know how it is for you. I don't know if these champion trophies are in the same location for you. That is definitely one thing I don't know. Somewhat curious if they are. I wonder if they're in the same position for everybody. Maybe the same relative position. You can see I have 34,000. Yes, you get those from killing the hostiles in Augment space. They come in the little boxes. Yeah, you're going to need a bunch. I can do this, 3 more times, plus the one that I got already up. Or I guess technically the 2. So there's that. Back out here. Talk about crews. I did mention, yes, they are, as far as the combat goes, they're coded more like the yellow bosses. I definitely did a few demonstrations on killing Q trials and didn't like that some of the officers were not working against Q trials. Well, there's even less that work against the gold bosses. Part of that is because there are so many more officers than there were back in the day when the gold bosses were really a thing. They're kind of still a thing, but they're not really that much anymore. Just really because so many other things have come out. And to a certain extent, most of the officers now are very specific in their description. They attack an armada, they attack a hostile. They're not going to work against gold bosses. I'm trying to give you a general idea of what kind of officers are going to work against gold bosses. Pretty much any officer that just says they work. No kind of stipulation about this has to be this hostile or that hostile or et cetera, et cetera. Like, for instance, 511's Captain Ability. You just get the mitigation. It doesn't matter if it's PvE, PvP, Armadas, Evading Entity, whatever. You just get it. Con. The Benedict Cumberbatch version, the epic one. This one right there. You can see it right there. Whenever your ship just gets hit, you just get crit chance. That's the only stipulation. It does not depend on what type of hostile or anything. Now, I'm not going to show you a whole bunch of officers. I could, but at the same time, how many runs can I really do? Another popular one is Yuki. Again, the really old school. Best way to find her, I think, would be hit defense. Marcus should be relatively high for your defense. You put him in as a captain. Then you sort by group, and Yuki should be there. I don't really want to mess up my crews here. And to a certain extent, Marcus could work. So Yuki's Captain Marcus on the side. Give you synergy for Yuki's captain ability. And her captain ability is you shield stripping. Very useful. Extremely useful back in the day because, again, there weren't that many officers. There's a metric fuck ton now. And to a certain extent, hard to keep track of. Let's go over some other officers that should work. Kelvin Timeline Kirk. And then Zhao, who's actually also in Marcus's group. Kirk, again, puts morale on. And then Zhao, when you have morale, you get mitigation, which can be useful. I did use that. Because, yeah, I tried with my Q Trials crew, and nobody was active. Like, nobody was activating. Pike activated. But if Moreau's not going to activate, Chen ain't going to activate, then it don't matter. There's that. And then I'm like, well, shit, I need some mitigation. Oh, Zhao, right? I can get morale on the ship, and then I can use Zhao, and then bam, there's my, mitigation anyway. So who the hell else is going to work off the top of my head that isn't here on the screen? I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure there are some officers. I'm almost certain there are other officers. I can't think of them right now. I'm going with Gorkon as my captain because I do want the hull breach. And since so many other officers and whatnot, they're not going to work, I want more crit chance. So if I can get a hull breacher and a crit chance officer in one, yeah, sure. Let's give that a shot. Is this the best option for you? Not saying that. I'm just saying he works. All I'm saying. Now, one that I do not know works. Well, I guess Giorgio and Lorca should work. Because they just do their thing. Doesn't matter. Again, PvE, PvP, Armada, whatever. I do not know if Jojoki works. I know Jojoki does not work against Armadas, but that is not because he wasn't coded that way. It's because they found out that it was so good for players that they put him on the banned from Armadas list. So does that mean he's banned from Gold Boss? I honestly don't remember. It's been so long since I've actually done them. I'm going to give that a shot. See other below deck officers. You can see the OG lower deckers. Because Mariner, she just adds your attack. Rutherford, he just adds shield. Tendi, she'll just add hull. Boimler, actually I had Boimler on here, but he just gives you mitigation. The same with Picard Hugh. He's just going to repair your hull. Again, PvE, PvP, Armadas, or whatever, it don't matter. He's going to do it. Same with Peli. She's just going to give you the isolated defense. Bam. What's your name? Odo. That's your name. Just going to increase your critical damage. I do not know if Jotum works. You're looking at his below deck ability. Jotum increases your isolated defense by 150% against hostiles and players, which is a weird combination. It's not often you see a combination like that. I'm not saying he should. I just feel because he's a reward from the loop, He's part of Khan's team. Shouldn't he work against the Khan champions? It seems like he should. Does he? I don't know, but I'm going to find out. I'm also going to find out about the Joki. So let's go do it. And you see, unlike the DQ trials, there's no timer. How long have I been talking and explaining shit to you and the thing's been up the whole time? Shouldn't be a timer. You should just have as long as you want. Yay! And then you got to donate something about the battle report, and then you click the check mark, and then you get, bam, you get the hijacked insignia. I will show you what to do with them in a minute. Let's recall. Mouse. Call you. Yeah, I don't give a shit about whatever the hell you were telling me there. Let's check this battle log, see who worked and who did not work. As you can see, the ship abilities. This ship, your Khan Championship, is going to increase the cyclic damage by 15% at the start of combat, which isn't that high. This ship increases its apex barrier by 5,000 at the start of combat, which, again, is not that high. If it was every round, I think that's something to concern yourself with, but it's not, so... Okay, so you see this is Gorkon's captain ability, pop in. This is Giorgio's officer ability. That's cool, they work. You see the Joki's officer ability here popping. Okay. I only wanted the Joki over Kirk, or I'm sorry, the Joki over Zhao because using the Borg Cube in a battleship, burning benefits me more than morale. And two, the Joki is at 500%, while Zhao is 300% of your officer stat towards your mitigation. So you would get more mitigation. Now, is this max mitigation? I don't even know. 10% of 120 million would be 12 million. 12 million times 7 is 84 million. So that's about 71%. So I got the max mitigation. So because it's not really enough for, the officer to pop up in the battle log. Sometimes they pop in a battle log and then shit isn't working correctly. But it would appear to me that I'm getting max mitigation. So I'm going to say the Joki does work against these gold bosses. You see Gorkon here giving me the hull breach, and that's really it. I don't see anything about... You see Picard Hugh there. Yeah, that's somewhat disappointing because it doesn't look like Joachim works at all. Unless he just added it straight to my ship, which I don't think he does. Somebody like Pelia would... Even somebody like Mariner and Odo, they would just add it to your ship. But I don't. Isolated defense, 754%. Really? How much am I getting from her? Oh, I can max her out. Okay, so video outcoming for her. I do want to compare her officer and her below deck ability. 700. I got up to 700. I don't even know if that's high. That might even be low. So I get 150. Let's take him off and see if that changed. Should be what, about 650? Oh, okay. So it would appear that Joachim actually just goes directly to your ship. I don't know if anybody knew that. I'm sure somebody out there probably did. I did not. As you can see here, I'm 604%. And I put Joachim on there. Bam, I go up to 754%. I'm curious, though, if that would stay reflective in the battle log. Because of the wording that he has. It's weird. And it still has it in the battle log. Because it specifically says hostiles and players. Okay, so it appears that Joachim will work against gold bosses. That's cool. That's good to know. I'm trying to think of who are some other good people you could use. I feel like Nero works if you want to go that route. That's a possibility. I think I'm going to move on to the hijack materials. What does... Are they in a research too? Shit. Where are some of the damn back doors to the fucking research tree? I know this goes into there, but when you hit back, it just kicks you back out. Let's hit this button. Again, it's going to kick you right back out. Actually, the research I'm looking for is in here, so is this going to work? Okay, there you go. Alright, then it's not the prime one. Right here. One thing that you can use for you can use your hijacked insignia is, you coming in here, obviously the away team research, priority 1 assignment unlock. You can get another assignment for 5,000 of this insignia. Now, if you're limited on how much you get, what do you want to do? You see I get 4,000. If you come down here, where are you going to be? Okay, so that's regular augment credit. This is Joachim Affinity. That's how you're going to unlock the Joachim there. Scrolling all the way down, you see the Con 4 Champion Warlord at respawn because I killed him. There are 2 more unlocks here, or chest claims. One here, this is going to be for your main source of con, the Fleet Commander. You see, I only need 70. Woo, yay me! And for 4,000, I can get 16 chests. I get 16 of them. Right? Sound about right to y'all? Yeah, 16. And I need 70. So, what is 70 divided by 16? 4, and I need to do that 5 more times. Or I guess 4 more times. I could do it today. I could unlock them today, I think. Not going to, because I want the damn other thing. Alright, so you have this one. Yes, you can trade your stuff in. You can get your con shards. You get Joachim Infinity, Augment points, which I'm not sure are really meaningful. But I mean, I guess with some of the other favors and shit, that's fine. You have this con upgrade chest. Also where you're going to spend these hijacked insignias. Your con SP. And also Joachim Infinity and Augment points. So once you get con, now you do this chest. Though I'd wait a bit, because once you're leveling up your fleet commanders and ranking them up and all that stuff, you get some SP for it. So I'd wait until you get rid of all that first. So far, I think this is going okay. Yeah, I definitely need to go out there and I need to get more hijacked insignias, which is going to be fun. Though at the same time, the really nice thing about this is I'm not really limited by amount of days. Right? If I want con, and if I want that extra priority 1 away team slot, I could get it right now if I want to. So, yeah, I'm kind of liking that aspect of it. I don't really like the loop itself and grinding it in a loop, but the rewards seem pretty nice. They do. They really do. So, we'll wrap this up here, showing you the basics of how to engage with the Con Champion section of the new Augment loop. Fairly straightforward. One thing that I think is really nice is there's no time limit like Q Trials. You activate them like Q Trials, but there doesn't appear to be a time limit. The downside is They're coded like gold bosses, so very few officers are going to work. So let's see, more favorite officers that are going to work. Yuki as your captain, that's shield stripping. Gorkon, for me personally, with your extra crit chance and your hold breach in one officer. A Dejoki and a Zhao, they're going to can get you really good mitigation, but you're going to need a Kirk for Zhao, and then let's say a Giorgio for Dejoki, because you need to pop that morale and that burning. People below deck, the OG lower deckers, Tendi, Mariner, Rutherford, Badgie. They're going to work because it's just the way the abilities are made. They got to work on everything. Though to a certain extent, Joachim, he only works against hostiles and players. Somehow he also works against gold bosses. It's very confusing. Khan's a big favorite. OG Khan, the Benedict Cumberbatch Khan. So comment below, what are some of your favorite gold boss / Khan champion crews? Are you having trouble? Do you... I don't even know what the other questions are going to... What, if you have been engaging with Khan champions, do you think new people to the Khan champion sub-loop need to know? I'm only kind of just going through this myself. I don't know a lot of the answers. What are some things that I should be doing? What are some things that some of these newer folks should be doing? And do you like it? Does this make the new Augment Edition loop any better? Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I am the Angry Rhino. Shields up, Commanders.